Holy shit, you playing that?
Laughing
at
birds.
Give a motherfucker what he want.
This program shows drugs being made, sold, and used. It features graphic content that may not be suitable for all audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
And we're back.
Presenting the YouTube sensation
Laughing
at
birds.
Gentlemen,
Jack of one trade
is a hoodlum, an habitual criminal. It is my opinion that he be denied parole. What?
Jack.
The turkey. His record here has been exemplary. I feel this man
ordinarily warned. Your objection would be sufficient for denial of parole. But in this case, there seems to be extenuating circumstances.
The only extenuating circumstance in Jack's case is that he has not killed anybody. Yet. I am in contact with this type of criminal every day. I live with him.
Jack of one trade.
Never changed.
But Warden, this is an institution for correction, not punishment. If we permitted ourselves to act in so prejudiced a manner, we'd be subject to attack from society.
Apparently you do not realize we are not dealing with the old-style gangster anymore.
MMPNJ Project.
We're committing the most vicious crime there is.
Movie reviews.
Crime against people. Street attacks, armed robbery, assaults upon women, murder.
Weed. You come on that, and then you come on TV, you come on national TV. Oh, you gotta look out. Look out for what? Weed? Weed? Really? Who are you, Snoop Dogg in a green room? I mean, what the hell is going on? Stay off the weed.
Everybody's a critic.
The hoodlum is our public enemy number one. Gentlemen. These gentlemen, members of the police.
There seems to be some inadvisability about granting parole in your son.
Why do you hate him?
I don't hate your son. It's just my opinion that he is not fit to take his place in society.
5 years long enough to take from a boy's life. When do you think you will be ready? 10 years? 20 years? When I'll be dead and there won't be anybody for him to come home to?
And public question number one, that's getting a lot of the discussion. It deals with legalizing recreational marijuana. If approved, marijuana would be legal for adults 21 and older. Bringing legal weed to the Garden State was a campaign promise of Governor Murphy. The bill fell short in Trenton several times. Tonight, things might be different this time around.
1.2 million of New Jersey's registered voters have already cast ballots and weighed in on the question of legal marijuana. 66% plan to vote yes, while 23% say no. Under the proposal, you'd have to be 21 years old to purchase marijuana, and you'd need a New Jersey license so that only state residents could use. That, of course, means more dispensaries could open to meet demand. And with that comes revenue for the state, which is one reason supporters want it. The state could tax purchases up to 6.6%. Local townships could also earn revenue from a 2% tax. The Cannabis Regulatory Commission would be in charge of the new industry and decide on matters such as, will people eventually be able to grow marijuana from their homes? If passed, it could take effect as early as January.
By that time, the prostitute could be dead.
It's overwhelmingly approved legalizing marijuana last week. Now, as News 12 New Jersey's Alex Sedan reports, the legislature needs to agree on how to regulate it and tax it and what to do with the revenue.
The day has come to turn around this terrible ship that's been going in the wrong direction for so long and destroyed so many people's lives.
The vote to legalize marijuana may have been the easy part. Now the state legislature has to establish a framework for New Jersey's new marijuana industry. And Monday morning, the effort was off to a bumpy start.
Well, you can't drive around drinking a beer. So now you're saying you can drive around smoking a joint.
If you say it louder, doesn't make it true.
Sometimes we come down here, we pass these really fancy laws and these great laws, but none of us think of the actual practical application, how it's applied in the real world.
It says right here.
Yeah, but
it can't be. You have to have some other violation of the law.
It's going to be legal. What are you talking about?
Progressive groups objected to the first draft of the bill, saying there was not enough investment in communities harmed by the drug war, and worrying that the weed market would be taken over by large corporations.
Unequivocally, we believe that as much of the proceeds from this addressing the injustices that the war on drugs caused, we are all in for.
Later in the day, Senator Scuteri released a statement saying all state revenue from legal marijuana should be dedicated to impacted communities to reverse the harmful effects of systemic racism.
The whole systemic racism part of it, sure, look in there. A whole bunch of white guys writing laws for other white guys to get rich.
You might think the happiest guy around that weed will soon be legal in New Jersey would be NJ Weedman, the colorful character who's been preaching and selling pot in Trenton for decades.
There's hundreds of thousands of people in the state of New Jersey who get marijuana right now, all the time. They get it from guys like me, the existing marijuana industry. What Senator Scuteri and them are doing is trying to corporatize it, trying to steal the existing marijuana market and give it to this new age cannabis industry they're creating.
Let me ask, Jack will ever bring home a paycheck? Did he ever buy you a dress? Did he ever take you?
Good time. They don't program sleep.
It's the man trying to kill us when we simply trying to smoke.
I mean, you can't get... The world needed this.
People are afraid to try certain things.
Let me ask you something. I'm trying to figure this out. You driving along in your hurricane, right? There's three people at the bus stop. You know, one is an old lady. She's sick. She's about to die. The second one is your best friend. He saved your life, right? And the third is the girl in your dream. Right? But check it out. You only got space in the car for one person. Right? Who you take? You know, I mean, it's an ancient rhythm. It's supposed to tell what type of person you are, like where you at in your life.
Welcome. What's going on, everybody out in internet land? Before we get started, I want to talk to you about Anchor, which is one of the easiest ways for you to make a podcast. Why? Because they give you everything you need in one place for free, which you could use from your phone or your computer. So if you're at home, on the go, it don't matter. You still have creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast so it sounds tight right at your fingertips. And they got distribution covered so it can be heard everywhere. Places like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and other platforms. Laughing at Birds is on 11 platforms right now as we speak. If that's not enough for you, bro, you can easily make money with your podcast with no minimum listenership. So if you're thinking about starting a podcast, dude, Anchor's the way to do it. Listen, I was on another platform before I discovered Anchor. It was behind a paywall. I didn't get proper analytics. I couldn't upload directly from the source. Anchor is way better than a lot of these other places. You don't got to worry about paying for bandwidth or none of that, dude. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm if you're going to kick off a podcast. Normally I would do this on camera, but you know what? I need to start scheduling some podcasts for the future. So here we are. It's January 27th, 12:47 p.m. Oh, ironically enough, I'm 47 minutes past the time that I will be at the dock, dude. I can't provide food. I can't provide shelter for more than 14 days. Otherwise, we'll get evicted. But my name ain't even really on the lease to begin with. And I want to talk about something that is happening that is wild with this apartment complex. But before I can even get into that craziness, that literally has me, I'm stressed out beyond belief right now, dude. You have no idea. Like, I can't handle this shit. It's insanity. Plus, this is crazy. There's only so many things I can say. Alright, so let's get into it. As y'all know, if you listen to the show, I told you the craziness that has been happening with the doctor. That has me so crazy. I've fucking broken out in hives, dude. That's how wild these people have me. Now, I know it's annoying. I've already covered this a number of times. How many times you gonna say the same shit, dude? Just as a recap, because I know we all have our own lives, and there's a possibility that you may have forgotten, because, you have your own life, dude. You got your own shit going on. It's entirely possible. I'm not mad at that. I wish I could forget. Unfortunately, it's my life, so I can't just tune in and then tune out and be like, man, I hope everything works out for that dude. No, that dude is me, man. This is terrible. This is terrible. Honestly, it really is. This is no good. This bad news bears. It just keeps piling up, bro. I'm telling you, I don't know what the fuck is going on. What I'm trying to say, I know that all of this is happening. Everything that is happening could potentially have a very good outcome, maybe no outcome at all. Maybe I'm worried over absolutely nothing. However, the way that our luck is, dude, very concerned. I'm gonna talk about the doctor. That's right. So let me catch you up. We'll talk about the apartment later. Here's what happened. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. Back in November of 2020, the citizens of New Jersey had the opportunity to vote on a ballot question during the presidential election, Biden, Trump, we had 3 questions on our ballot. One was about redistricting, which wound up winning. I don't know exactly what all that means, other than it's not good. It's not good because these people play around with numbers to try to convert people, whatever, make their numbers look bad. I don't know why it's not good, dude, exactly, other than I know that there's bad things that are happening when you're messing around with people's votes, dude. And the fact that we have to declare ourselves either a Democrat or a Republican in a presidential election is ridiculous. Because I don't identify as a Democrat or a Republican, but that's not the purpose of the video. I mean, the thing that I'm doing right now, I've been a bit scattered, the hits just keep coming, man. They really do. I feel like death row in the fucking 90s, man. The hits just keep coming. I don't know what to do with myself. So, we had the opportunity to vote. I already said that. Redistricting. That was a thing that won out. Barely, but it won out. I voted against. I didn't. Yeah. I voted against it because I originally wasn't going to touch it. And then I looked into it. I read 4 or 5 articles that pretty much all said the same thing and did not help me out at all. So then what I wound up doing is going and looking up definitions of the words of redistricting and what do these things mean. Literally what the words mean, since these people want to put a political slant on everything. Canada Dry. Since they want to put a political slant on everything, I just read the definitions and then whatever. So you're for it, against it, whatever. Point is, there was that. There was whether or not veterans should be able to receive a tax break even if they have not seen wartime. Because as it stands right now, only veterans who have seen combat are able to receive a tax break, whatever that means. It's not very much. I think it was only like $600, something like that. I don't remember, to be honest with you, but I think that they should be able to get a tax break if you've gone into the military, even if you haven't seen combat. Just the fact that there's even the fucking possibility that you should be able to get every discount and break that there is. What do you mean? How is that even a question? That should already be done. Like, how about don't organize fucking parades for the troops, and how about you take care of them? How about you do that? What do you mean, can they have a tax break? You should have them have a fucking house to come home to. I know that's a little ridiculous. Some people think that's a little ridiculous, but not for nothing, dude. You give your life up on behalf of the country, and then you come home and you don't even have, you got to worry about where you're gonna live, and health issues and everything else. It's all fucked up. I don't want to get into all this. I'm not supposed to be political. I don't think that taking care of soldiers and doing the right fucking thing is political. I really don't think so. I don't see how anybody could possibly be against soldiers getting taken care of, dude. I just don't see it. I don't see how that's possible. I'm not saying throw yourself out in the street and let them move into your fucking house, but the government should take care of them. What the fuck? I would chip in. I don't have much, but I would throw a fucking couple of dollars into the pot to help everybody out. No? If we all throw in a fucking dollar, right? How many people are there? There's a lot of us. That would add up to something. I would like to think, but God forbid we do something fucking simple. Instead, let's just drop them off candy bars in pharmacies and hope that the people that have these fucking boxes really do send them where they say that they're going. Because how do we know? How the fuck do we know there's so many shady people that say that they're for and they're not? Dude, I'm so... Alright, look, this is what happens when you bring up elections, dude. If I'm not as aware as I should be, I can just say that. Because I know that I'm not up on everything that is going on. The reason why that is, I like to be aware during elections, right? I should make it a point to figure out who these people are and what do they stand for, what votes what bills have they voted on. I'm going to have to do all of those things. What I have to try to figure out how to do is how to do that. Look into the records of who voted for what and why did they do it and things that they say. What do their track records say? Never mind what they talk on the microphone. Anybody can work the mic. I'm showing you that right now. At the same time, I don't want to get wrapped up in the back and forth of things that I have no control over. Because they pass laws and we should be aware of what the laws are, but I don't want to know that they're deciding about doing something that I don't have the power to put my say into. Because then, if you don't agree with it, or, if you think that they're doing it the wrong way, then you get aggravated, and now you're upset about some shit that you can't control. I don't need to add any more bullshit to my life. So I'm trying to figure out how I can be aware and also not get sucked into the vortex that is all of that bullshit. Because we all know the way that goes, dude. You go down, it's like with anything. It's like with anything. You go down a rabbit hole and before you know it, you try bringing these things up in conversations and then you figure out that they're actually way more difficult to talk about than they should be made to. But let me just move on. The third question was whether or not we would... The question was put up to the citizens of New Jersey whether we wanted to vote yes or no to change the constitution of the state. Those are very heavy words. Now follow what I'm about to tell you. What it said was, do you want to change the Constitution to allow marijuana to be, I don't think they said cultivated. I'm pretty sure they said regulated and taxed for recreational use for persons 21 years of age or older. And that's it. That's all it said. There was no mention of expungements. There was no mention of cultivation. There were no mention of cultivation licenses for small business. owners and people who have been affected by the war on drugs, as it has been so heavily harped on by the news and every politician, whether Republican or Democrat, but that's besides the fucking point. Now, a lot of people were very nervous about voting on this because we all knew that the state had written this out specifically to be vague so that they would be able to make changes we would not approve of later on. However, they only gave us one choice. They said legalize it or don't. Those are your only options. The rest of it will be left up to us. So it won out in favor 60-40 legalization. January 1, 2021, it was supposed to be legalized. Here we are, January 1, 27, 2021, and marijuana is not legalized, despite the fact that the people of New Jersey have voted to change the constitution of the state. I say again. As I said before, I am not up to date on politics. However, I would like to believe that if the people of New Jersey have chosen to change the Constitution, then by God, there should be changed, yes? Why are there still people being arrested? Why is this? And then on top of that, you're going to turn around and make cultivation a felony. I'm not even going to get into it. We've already covered the way that I feel about that. I'm not trying to be spoiled, but I would like you to look at it from a patient perspective rather than a business or a drug dealer perspective. Because I can present you both sides of those arguments, but we're not going to get into that right now. The reason why I bring all of this up is because when this was going on, I would like to inform you of a couple of things. Now, I have, since a young age, maybe people will agree or disagree with this, I would not want a child of mine to do the things that I have done at the age that I have done them. Have that out of the way. I have medical issues, and when you are in pain, you get desperate. This is why people get dependent on drugs and their lives get ruined, even sometimes if it's not abuse. When you're in pain, you get desperate to not be in pain, dude. It does horrible things to your mind. It changes your personality and who you are for moments, sometimes days at a time. At least for me, I can say that. And I'm not proud of it. I don't like that it turns me into an ugly person. Ready to snap for any reason. Every little thing bugs me. I don't. And it sounds like a bullshit excuse. But I don't mean for it to sound like a bullshit excuse. I need to do a better job of handling the way that I feel. Having said that, though, so since, 15, 16, 14, 15, 16, somewhere in that area, start smoking weed on and off, then eventually, to fast forward, I couldn't afford the amount of weed that I had to smoke to be comfortable because I couldn't be treated by a doctor. I've been in and out of hospitals my entire life. Let me just put it out there. I know I sound like a fucking broken record, dude. Diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2014 via spinal tap. Before that, it was suggested that I may have it because I had a migraine back in 2009 that sent me to the hospital. It hurt so badly I couldn't see straight. I barely could dial my phone to call my mom, who lived right around the corner from me. And y'all know we're not exactly the best of friends. But, there's only, if I'm calling you, obviously there's a reason. You know what I mean? So this is not playtime. This is very serious business right now. I was actually in the process of looking after my nephew. They had only left me with him maybe 20 minutes to half an hour earlier. And I said that I hadn't really been feeling well. But, you know, my head had been hurting. But it was on and off, dude. And then as the night went on, it just got progressively fucking worse and worse and worse. It just felt like somebody just squeezing my fucking skull. I mean, the pressure got so bad, my vision got blurry, and then I couldn't see. I had to squint my eyes as small as I could to be able to try to just see the contact information on my phone, to be able to call this lady, because if I can't see straight, how the fuck am I supposed to look after this child, right? So I call her, and I'm like, dude, I need you to come over here, like right now. I need to go to the hospital, but more importantly, you know, that somebody needs to look after this fucking kid, right? Like, I'm not meaning to pull you into this, but if it wasn't a fucking emergency, I would not call you with this, dude. You know, I would not call one of my guy friends to be like, hey man, listen, you know, my fucking 3-year-old nephew, however old he was at the time, I don't remember, sorry, bad memory, you know, whatever. Anyway, moving on, dude. Cerebral palsy, I've dealt with my whole life. The twitches, the spasms, the leg pain that everybody tells me isn't there. Please. I can't even. I wish I could just touch a doctor's head and be like, you feel this, take this for 24 hours, and then you come back to me, and we'll talk about how you feel about treatment options. Yeah. Anyway, so the drawn out point is simply this: medical issues, right? Now, smoking weed on and off, I had to start selling it to be able to afford to smoke it, because realistically speaking, without pain medication, without narcotic pain medication, because that's what I am prescribed, let's fucking put it out there. Once upon a time, I was also prescribed narcotic muscle relaxers as well, but I've recently come to discover CBD, which is also another component of this conversation here. But thanks to the CBD, shout out to Lazarus Naturals. This is not an ad read, although we should talk. I'm just kidding. I know they have an affiliate program, but I'm really I would rather just give y'all a shout out once in a while, and y'all could I would shout them out on every podcast. Y'all just send me a bottle of tincture and a bottle of lotion, and we're square, dude. I'll advertise for you, straight up. Or anybody else that's listening, bro, you got a bowl company, please somebody hear me out, dude. We'll get to that in a second. Let me not get sidetracked. Because it's important, right? But thanks to the CBD, I've gotten off of the muscle relaxers completely. They're gone. I don't have any more refills. That's the end of the story. So now it's just me and the CBD. You got the monster?
No. It's just me and the CBD. Alright, so I was saying, I'm on the CBD now. Somas are out. The somas are out. I don't give a... What do you say? You're going out. I don't care who you know. Oh, man. The fuck is the line? God damn it. I can't think of it. You just caused me a Cadillac, right? That's the line in the movie, Glengarry Glen Ross, right? Al Pacino's the fucking man, dude. I'm about to pull that clip up right now, dude. I'm about peace, but I'll fuck around and choke me. Oh, man. Yeah. I think this is it. Glengarry Glen Ross. Roma rips into Williams. Yeah, Williams. You.
fucking asshole. Hold on. I'm on the thing. I'll turn my headphones off so you can hear this. Wait, I got my speakers. Yeah, I got my speakers hooked up. I'll play it on the computer. You can hear it then. Hold on. Stop rushing me. Damn.
I'm sorry.
Here we go.
I apologize to you. It's not me, it's my wife. What is it? I told you. Tell me again. What's going on here? Tell me again. Your wife. I told you. Tell me again. Well, she wants her money back. Yeah, but we're going to speak to her. No, she told me right now. We're going to speak to her, Jim. No, she won't listen.
Hold on, is this it? Oh, wait, no, I don't think so. I might have to go.
Bank. You cashed my check.
Yeah. I gotta get. Here you go. I'm skipping to the line because I have not seen this movie yet, and I want to watch it. So, I've seen parts of the scene, but I don't want to ruin it for myself. I want to watch it from the beginning.
Okay? I let you down. I know I let you down.
Bop. Come on now, stop it. Here you go. Williams, I'm talking to you, shithead. Right? That's what he says.
You stupid fucking cunt.
Ah.
You, Williamson, I'm talking to you, shithead.
Uh-huh. You just cost me $6,000 and a Cadillac.
$6,000 and one Cadillac. That's right.
What are you gonna do about it? Asshole?
What are you gonna do about it, asshole? You're fucking shit.
Yeah. Whoever told you?
You stupid fucking cunt, you idiot. Whoever told you that you could work with men?
You're going out.
I'm going downtown. I'm going to talk to Mitch and Murray. I'm going to Lemkin. I don't care whose nephew you are.
Who you know, whose dick you're sucking on. You're going out.
I swear to you, you're going. Let's get this done. Anyone in this office lives on his wits. I'm going to be with you in a second.
Yeah. Whoever told you that you could work with men?
What you're hired for is to help us.
Not hurt us.
Does that seem clear to you? To help us, not to fuck us up.
Oh.
To help men who are going out there to try to earn a living, you fairy. You company man. I'll tell you something else. I hope you rip the joint off. I can tell our friend here a little something might help him to catch you. You want to learn the first rule? You'd know if you ever spent a day in your life. You never open your mouth till you know what the shot is.
Woo!
You fucking child.
Yeah, you like that? Look at him. You know what? He's thinking about children right now. Look at you, you sick motherfucker. You sick cocksucker. Son of a bitch. You're a good actor. You're a piece of shit, Kevin Spacey. Putting that out for the record. I like Frank Underwood, for what it's worth. Not much. Fucking pig. Damn. Hard scene. The whole reason why I brought that up, phrasing, was because I said the somas are out. I don't care who you know, whose nephew you are, whose dick you're sucking on. You're going out. Well, I'm gonna have your job, shithead. Yeah. I love that, dude. I love that, dude. Pacino's the fucking man, isn't he? Because the point is, somas are out, dude. Now it's Percocet, right? And it's CBD. So I've been taking Percocet I've been taking Percocet for like 8 years, dude. There's a long history behind this. I said it was in and out of hospitals. That was the point that I was trying to make. I'm all over the fucking place, dude. Holy shit. This is what I was saying. I was smoking weed on and off. I couldn't afford to smoke as much as I was smoking without pills. Without pills, just weed by itself. I could blow an eighth in a day, no issue. Realistically speaking, I could on my worst days, I could probably blow a quarter. That's 7 grams. I'm not sitting here trying to tell you that I would be Cheech and Chonging. I'm just saying every couple of hours I would treat the weed like a pain pill, dude. Every couple of hours, smoke a little bit, take the edge off of the pain. That's a very expensive fucking thing to do, dude. Because, I mean, you gotta figure, if an ounce is $500, that's at the starting level of some basic shit. In ounces of the $500, let's say. Right, now you go and break that down. We'll go all the way down to 20 sacks, dude. When you don't have much money, this shit adds up very quickly. So we're talking, you got 20 sacks, then you got 50 packs, quarters, halves, and the whole zip. That's it. There's nothing in between. So you got 20 sack, you have an eighth, which is 3.5 grams. That goes for street value, depending on the quality of the weed. Let's say that it's average quality. An eighth on the street of average quality weed will go for $45. Now we're walking into this, dude. So I'm looking for pain relief, dude. Average is not gonna do it for me. So now we gotta bump it up a little bit. Now we're talking 60 an eighth for 3.5. Now I want you to imagine, dude, that's for one day. That's $60 a day. Let's just do the math real quick on how much money that is in a fucking week, because I am not very good at math, but I have a calculator. I think it's 60 times 7. I think you would do. That's $420, no pun intended. $420 a week times 420 times 420 by 4, because there's 4 weeks in a month. That's $1,680, dude, a month. $1,680, dude, a fucking month. Now, I got news for you. At the time, at the time that I was smoking that amount, because on average I was blowing through an eighth to a quarter, depending on how bad the pain was, because it's day by day, dude. I mean, I'm not Superman here, but there's only so many things you can do, dude, right? So, you know, what was I trying to do? Oh yeah, my whole monthly income altogether was only $607 at the time. So take out $607, that still leaves me with $1,000 and change that I have to come up with to be able to smoke the amount of weed that I need to smoke to feel pain relief. That's not easy. So then now you're gonna walk into problems. But you know, that's why I got arrested for distribution of marijuana. I'm not proud of. I followed the code. There's an unwritten law. Everybody knows it. There's certain things that you do and there's certain things that you don't do. Let me give you an example of the things that I'm talking about. For one, if you go into the weed business, the coke business, the heroin business, I don't care what it is. When you go into this business, you have then made a fucking choice to take a risk that you might get caught and go to fucking jail. When you start to do, it doesn't matter what it is, okay? Anything, any of those things. Understand that if you don't understand that is the risk that you are taking when you go into this thing, then you have already been failed by whoever has raised you. Let's just put that out there right now. But unwritten law, dude. You go into the business, you then take the risk, so if you get caught, you go down all by yourself. That is the point. Not to get caught and then throw other people under the fucking bus so that they can go to a place that you did not want to go. That is not the way that you do things. If you were raised half decently, you fucked up. You take the fucking punishment. End of the fucking story. There's no in between to be had, dude. None at all whatsoever. So, oh my god, hold on. Certain things you do, certain things you don't do. You get caught, you don't roll over on other people. You inherit the risk when you get into this shit. You don't sell weed out of an ice cream truck. You don't drive through the neighborhood on an ice cream truck trying to hand joints out to children. You don't do that. I don't, but no kids involved, none of that. Nobody under the age of fucking, realistically speaking, nobody under the age of 21 should be anywhere near involved in any of this fucking nonsense. I don't care how badly you need the fucking money. I don't give a fuck how bad you need the money. If a child comes up to you, wherever you are, whatever, it's just the way that I feel. I understand everybody does things differently, dude, but I'm saying, you don't do that. These are the things that I'm talking about. So following this code partially, and the fact that I did not follow the rules in the 10 crack commandments, I never sold crack. I would never sell crack. But I'm saying the rules to the 10 crack commandments can apply to the weed business or any other business venture that you're getting into if you really would like to get into it. But the point is that I was stupid, and I'm not a mastermind criminal though either. You have to understand, I didn't go into this looking to make $1 million. I mean, yeah, it was great that, you know, I didn't have to worry about, I had the weed covered. That was all I was concerned about. I had the weed covered, I had food in my fucking stomach, dude, and we were okay. We were alright. That was all that fucking mattered. But I wasn't mastermind criminal looking to make a fucking $1 million off of pot, which, by the way, unless you're the state, you really can't do unless you want to operate in pounds. But then you're looking at kingpin charges, and I'm not trying to do life. That's why I didn't get into the cocaine business. So, you know, the low level, dude, whatever, it is what it is. It's the point, though, man. You follow the code, and other people don't follow it. So, you know, sometimes you don't make certain sales because it's not the right fucking thing to do, even if it is a person who is not a child and of age and can make their own fucking choices. Sometimes there are things that, you know, I can't. If you would like to smoke weed when you are pregnant, that is 100% your business. You will not get a joint passed to you from me. I'm sorry. I understand morning sickness and all of that. There's gotta be some low level concoction that you might be able to use with CBD or something, maybe, that hopefully wouldn't be harmful to the baby, but I definitely couldn't advocate a pregnant woman smoking weed. As much of an advocate as I am for it, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it, right? So, you know, there's that, and then there's also the fact that people don't. If somebody, let me put it to you this way, dude. There's enough money in the world. Life in a lot of ways is like YouTube. Life in a lot of ways is like YouTube and podcasting. For some reason, well, look, here's how you can equate it, dude. Because it's the same thing. In the sense that a few people do it, and they do it big, and they're very successful, right? Which a few of us can look at that and then go, well, if they can do it, maybe I can take my shot doing it my own way, in my own voice, blah, 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 right? So here's the problem, though. For some reason, whether you're talking about the podcast business, whether you're talking about YouTube, or, you know, you're talking about just business generally speaking, sometimes, rather than put the work in, some people like to be lazy, and then they wonder, why do they not have things moving in a direction that would be good for them. They sit around and they go, I can't figure out why my podcast isn't getting off of the ground. I'm only recording once a fucking week. I don't understand what is happening here. You just said it. You're only recording once a week. What the fuck is that? You gotta step your game up, dude. What do you mean you're only recording once a week? I do something every fucking day. The same thing with this other type of business and any other type of business. People get lazy and then they expect the money to just come walking through the door. Well, it doesn't. What winds up happening is somebody else will... You don't see that somebody else is lazy who's only recording a podcast once a week. So then I come along and now I decide that I want to start the Laughing at Birds podcast, right? I'm not trying to step on your toes because you have a podcast. But we're both trying to make something out of these shows, right? So you put in your amount of work, and now here I come, and I'm putting in my amount of work, which is more. As you can tell, I'm constantly working on something. I try to always keep things moving in a direction that is going to be profitable, for lack of a better term. Like, in other words, like, it's not gonna make you $1 million, but similar to the podcast, like, every 167 plays gets 3 cents. It's the same thing with this other, like, every little bit counts. Every little bit helps. So I'm not looking around and going, well, fuck this other dude with his podcast because he only records once a week. I'm coming in here and I want to take the entire thing by storm, and Laughing at Birds is all that matters, and if you got a podcast, fucking suck my dick. I'm not doing any of that. But sometimes that lazy person who only records once a week will see that I'm really getting on what I'm supposed to do. I'm putting the time and the effort in, and I'm trying to make shit happen. So then this guy with his fucking once a week podcast decides that he wants to approach me, and he says, hey man, I understand that you're running a fucking podcast. I said, yeah, and what's your point? You're like, well, I do the same thing. Okay, that's cool. What do you want me to do with that information? Well, what I'm telling you is that the podcast game is mine. You understand? Nobody else is gonna podcast because that's what I do. You understand what I'm saying to you right now? And I'm like, well, listen, this may be ignorant of me, but I think there's enough money for everybody. I'm not trying to take food out of your mouth, bro. There's enough money for us both to eat. Let's not get crazy. I'm not trying to be a millionaire, dude, but you can't tell me, you can't ask me, you can't approach me and ask me not to record because you want to be fucking lazy. You can't ask me to do that. I have my own life I'm trying to take care of over here, dude. I'm not taking from you. And even if I was, step your fucking game up. It's the nature of the goddamn business, dude. The better product is gonna win out every fucking time. If you got heat with that, take it up with the game. Not me. So, whatever, dude. We have an exchange, man, and this guy wants to be upset like he's the only fucking person that can host in the world. I got news for you, you're fucking not. And like I said, I'm not a tough guy, dude. If this guy wanted to fight, he would probably whoop my ass because he's a fucking sicko lunatic, bro. But you know what? I can't worry about that. I say to myself, like, if this dude wants to fucking kill me over this, then I guess I'm gonna die. Because the only other option is to sit around in agonizing pain all day and want to kill myself anyway. So that's not an option. So you know what? I'm just gonna keep working on my show and continue to do what I do. And well, maybe this is a good time to fucking wrap the show up. I start to think to myself, right? How long could you possibly, how many more warnings do you need? Right? Other things have happened. I've had to go to some really fucking sketchy places to be able to put this show in order. And a lot of the time, some of these situations were, in my opinion, very dangerous. Some other people may not think so, and they would probably go as far as to venture to say that I was a pussy for even suggesting that some of these places and situations may have been dangerous, but fuck them. I was there, I know what I felt, and I don't care what anybody else thinks. Because I had one job, and that job was to get this fucking show on the road, dude. Nobody was gonna do it for me. Nobody wanted to help. What choice did I fucking have? But I start to think to myself, like, dude, there's a lot of risk that is involved in this thing that I'm doing here. And as much as it helps, I don't really know how much is worth actually continuously taking a risk like this, because if I wind up getting into if I wind up getting jammed up by the FCC, you understand, then they're gonna take my show off the airways anyway, and then now we have no show at all whatsoever. That means no income, that means no pain relief, and now we are in a worse position than we originally were in the first place, because now we're in a bad situation where now we have to hire lawyers with money we don't have, and we gotta sit into jail where the cops don't want to hear shit about the pills that you walked in with, because you didn't walk in with no fucking Vicodin, you didn't walk in with no Seroquel in your pocket for your fucking mental issues that you were ordered by a judge to fucking take, by the way, probably not but a couple of weeks earlier. But what do they give a fuck, because they're in a different zip code, so the rules in this zip code don't apply to the rules in that zip code, even though this dude is a fucking judge and he said to do certain shit. The cops inside the jail don't give a fuck, because all they're trying to do is just rip off as many people as they can and have a fucking party, because why wouldn't you, when your job is supposed to be looking after motherfuckers, dude? I understand it's a jail and people have broken the law and they get locked up to be punished, but that doesn't mean the people that you put in charge should be selfish human beings who do nothing but lie, rob, cheat, steal, and assault whoever they can, whenever they can, for no other reason more than to simply abuse and to flex muscle and power. That's not the way that you fucking do things. Anyway, so it's been a long journey to get to this motherfucking point of currently where I'm sitting right now. And a lot of shit has happened between now and then. But here's what happened, dude. Okay? So, like I told you, I ran into some issues, man. All right? I wound up getting into some shit that landed me 3 years. They told me I was looking at 3 to 5 years in jail. I don't know how true that actually is, as far as maximums are concerned, and shit like that, right? I was fucking scared. I don't know. But what was I gonna do? I made a fucking choice, dude. And that fucking choice was to not be in pain to do this fucking show, right? So that's what I did. And now I'm jammed up with the FCC. That's a risk that I was willing to take at the time. And now that the risk is here, that doesn't change. Now I have to go through with it. So, I go through the whole thing, dude. Gotta hire a lawyer, can't afford, right? Dude, the point, karma gets you. Karma gets you, dude. I'm gonna tell you why karma gets you, dude. Because here's what happened. This is the truth. This is the truth, dude. I swear to you, when everything was said and done, after the warrant, the arrest, the holding cell, all that shit, even though it wasn't major, because I did wind up bailing myself out. So we're including bail, being processed, which costs you money. Oh, if you don't know, or at least when I went, the processing fee was $25, and that was for them to put your name and your photo and your fingerprints into the... Oh, no, I'm sorry. Processing was $50. That was for the mugshot, the fingerprints, and putting you in the holding cell. And then every day that you spend inside of a cell, which you have been sentenced by a judge, by the way, was $25 a day that you have to pay at the end of your sentence, or a judge puts a warrant out for you, and then you go to jail to serve the amount of time that you should have paid for. So you wind up going back into the place. Like, it's a dick system. The point is this: bail, holding, lawyer, court fees, probation, Mad, Dare, and a couple other ones. Mad was Mothers Against Drunk Driving were thrown into this for some reason. The Dare program, that was part of my probation. So what I'm saying is, you get arrested, the fee for the processing, the fee for the holding cell, the fee for the bail, which is 10% of my bail was $25,000, I think, which no, 2,000, I think 2,500 the bail was. 10% of that was $250. So $250 you put up so that you can get bail and then get a ring to go to court. Court costs $30, pretty sure. I'm not writing these numbers down. Hopefully you're keeping track at home. Right, so then the probate, I wind up getting, because of the lawyer, thankfully, which cost me, I think the first time was, no, $750 was for the other thing. I think I gave this dude $1,200, $1,400, something like that. The lawyer, I don't remember. Shit. I don't know. It was close to, it was either, it was anywhere between $900 and $1,400. I had to give the lawyer. He worked out a payment plan with me. And then I had to give probation because I got pre-trial intervention. When my lawyer brought me into court, he told me, because he used to be a Pine Beach police officer before he became a lawyer. Which, by the way, do your research when you're looking up lawyers. Find ex-prosecutors, ex-judges, and ex-police officers. They are who you want. They are expensive, but they are worth every fucking dime. The reason why I say that is because the guy that I hired on the weekends played golf with the fucking judge. That matters. Also, buy a fucking suit. Don't go to court in khakis and a button-up shirt. Don't be a fucking asshole. That matters too. I don't care how long you're going away for, dude. Like, you'll get extra time for not showing up properly. You have to do that. But the point is, all of those fees, then pre-trial intervention, because it was technically my first charge since the other one got wiped. Long story, we're not going over that right now. Since it was my first charge, they originally were going to have me do 3 to 5 years, I think was what the cops were telling me. Then when I went to court, the judge said it was 1 to 3. I'm pretty sure 1 to 3 years in jail. But because it was my first offense, it got knocked down to, he decided to knock it down to pretrial intervention, which means you do probation for 3 years, and then at the end of your probation, your record is supposed to be expunged. Now, in order for that to happen, you have to file paperwork, which costs money. And also, you have to hire a lawyer to help you file those expungement papers. Needless to say, I could not afford to do that. But the judge said it's either you can pay for it to be expunged after the 3 years of pretrial intervention is over, or you can wait 10 years. And if you do not run into trouble, from now until then, given you don't violate your probation, then it will automatically be expunged off of your record, except for government offices being able to see that. And unfortunately, right now, that includes apartment complexes. They could see the charge. It was never wiped off my fucking record. So here we are going on 15 years later, and, still can't put my name on a fucking apartment, despite the fact that I did fulfill my 3 years of probation, passed every fucking piss test, and almost went to jail for bringing my medication as I was requested to by my fucking probation officer. But that's another story we'll have to get into on another day, dude. The reason why I mention all of this money is because the PTI cost me $1,500. That included the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, the DARE program for elementary to fucking middle school kids, whatever it was, and a gang of other charges that I had to pay the state. I worked at a payment plan with them, which was $52 every time I walked into the probation office. Every time I walked in there, I had to give them $52. It didn't matter if they called me in 3 times a week. That was the fucking arrangement, was we call you in, you pay the fucking money until we're squared up. Like, that's how they did it, dude. But, so, all of that money equaled out to, when I tell you, down to the fucking penny, excluding the half ounce. Was it a half or a quarter that got robbed in the safe?
4 fingers.
So that was an ounce. So there was an ounce and excluding the ounce and the 7.
There was 3 of those.
Yeah, so there was 3 quarters. I had 3 quarters and $750 in a safe. That was robbed. Outside of that money and whatever the market worth is for that weed that I had, every dime that I had saved that was not used for the purposes of weed, because you have to put money off to the side just in case for things like this. You don't want to be hurting for lawyer money after you catch a charge. You gotta be smart enough to be able to fucking put some of that money off to the side while things are going well, because chances are eventually you are gonna get fucking wrapped up. So, but the point is, dude, every dime I had down to the fucking penny went into lawyers, bail, court fees, probation, but all of that. I didn't have a fucking red penny when this thing was over. It literally cost me every dime that I made off of the selling the fucking weed, dude. So, karma is a motherfucker. It will get you. So now I guess it's alright for the state to do it. But, karma came around and got me. So, whatever, it is what it is. But I brought all of that up to simply say, I've been on these painkillers for years now. It's been 15 years going on since I've been arrested for the distribution of marijuana. I have not, since then, I've done everything in my power to be legitimate. And that is up to and including getting put on welfare, going to special response to be put up for a fucking place to live, dude. Applying for Social Security disability, actually working, trying to work fucking jobs, but that was even before then. It had nothing to do with the fucking weed. But I'm saying, I since have, now I live hand to mouth every day, dude. Living off $150 for food. That's what I'm doing. That's what my life has been for years now. Up and down, fucking food stamp money, struggling, begging and borrowing from everybody that I know just to be able to get through a fucking month for the last 15 years. I've paid plenty, but gone to the doctor since then, and I've been put on painkiller medication for, we're going on like 8 years now, 9 years. Shit.